Well, hi, I'm Kenny Fierro, and welcome back to the next episode of Size Queen. And I am joined today by Rick Shattuck, who plays Chris Leeman, our main character in Size Queen.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so happy you're here. We are starting this podcast as another part of the Size Queen world. So we have the short film, which is a proof of concept of this series that we want to create. You know, it's the queer Sex in the City. It's 4 guys living in LA, going through love, career, relationships. And it's 13 minutes, so it's about half of what the pilot episode would be. You know, as maybe you've heard, I wrote this script, I produced the short film, and I casted the actors, and all of these people were, you know, mimicked off of people in my life. You know, I live in LA, I've been here for over 10 years and have had lots of different queer friends over the 10 years, and I felt like, you know, we all go through so many different, you know, ups and downs and relationships and careers and changes that, you know, having a show where we can relate to people would be super important. And the idea here is to like have, you know, some of the cast, the crew, other friends on the podcast to, you know, give their, you know, queer, gay LA experiences. And
here we are.
Yeah. So I'm going to kick it off with, you know, the making of Size Queen. And well, first, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah. I'm Rick Shattuck. I play Chris Leeman. And yeah, I mean, like I auditioned for this, so we didn't know each other beforehand. And I remember reading the script, and sometimes when you get auditions, like the words come so easily and you're like learning it very quickly because it just comes so naturally and easy it came so naturally and easy for me. And so I felt like it was really just, you know, something I was able to relate to and have so much fun with. And so I sent my tape in, and I mean, now it's been like a year since we've known each other.
Yeah, a little over a year. Yeah.
A little over a year.
Yeah.
So this has been like such a fun whirlwind of experience. And, you know, I'm so grateful and happy to see it thrive and do its thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing me along.
Of course. Yeah. So yeah, like when I acted for many years, so I knew about Actors Access, and, you know, I have actor friends, but yeah, I wanted this to be like something where I didn't know the people, you know, per se. And also like, I wanted to like see how other people would interpret these characters. So yeah, I made a post on Actors Access as like a casting director and posted the breakdowns for all the different roles. And yeah, I got a ton of self-tapes for all the characters. The most were for Chris because it's, you know, the main role.
Did you say that you got like over 200 or something like that?
Probably between all of the roles, but I can't remember exactly how many I got for Chris. But I definitely had the most because it was like the lead role.
Yeah.
And it was very important to me to cast, you know, queer people playing these roles. Like I'm so tired of seeing, you know, straight people play, you know, gay roles, and there's just not even that many queer roles. So obviously you can't ask, but like, you know.
Yeah. You wanted to make sure that representation was there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that that's what you were looking for.
Yeah. And when, I saw your self-tape, I was just like, you know, because Chris, to me, I'm curious your take, but to me, he's, you know, like he's someone that you want to like root for and you want like to succeed, but also he's like conflicted, you know, he wants a relationship, but you know, then you see him like hooking up in the beginning, and then he, you know, wants his podcast, but he's like has his career, and he's just like kind of like torn in all different directions. So we wanted this like person to be like fun and funny. Obviously, I think, you know, Size Queen's pretty light and comedic, and someone that had that kind of comedic timing was important to me. Yeah. What was your take on Chris when you first read the part?
I mean, it felt like me. Like it really did. Like I feel so like as you were explaining that, I feel that 100%. There are days that I'm like, I want to be single. I want to be free. I just want to do whatever I want. And then other days I'm like, it would be really nice to cuddle on the couch and like watch a movie with someone and hold their hand while we go to the Grove and like, you know, just things like that. So, and I'm so comfortable being single that I feel like that's just what I'm used to. But there are parts of me that, you know, want to feel loved and like, you know, have those intimate moments with someone special. And the career stuff, I have jumped from so many different types of jobs. I've lived in so many different apartments. And so I just felt the messiness of Chris without it like not feeling like he's out of control, like nothing like that. But it was just like I understood where he's being pulled in so many different directions because I feel like he's also trying to figure out what he wants.
Yeah.
And that's literally me.
Yeah. I feel like that's a lot of us. Yeah. And that's why like I wanted that character to be, you know, relatable to a lot of people. Was there anything you were like nervous about going into filming?
Okay, well, this is something that we have talked about at one point, but this was my first time being the lead.
The lead, yeah.
And so I felt the pressure of, you know, wanting to be on my A game for sure. But I knew the weight of this character needing to be likable because I'm in every scene. So if for any reason someone didn't like my character, it will fall apart and will fall flat. And so I was really feeling that pressure of like, gosh, I really hope people are going to be rooting for me and want, you know, the best for this character. But I will say specific, like if there was a specific scene that I was like nervous about, it was the scene with Max.
Okay.
And
that scene was, if anyone hasn't seen.
Sorry. So it was the hookup scene at the very first scene of the shoot, which we shot that second. You know, I think it's not that I've never been intimate with someone, but it's like not something that you typically film. And that was my first time meeting him. So it was one of those like, hey, it's so nice to meet you, Max. So what are you comfortable with? And I remember at one point we were standing by, I think there was was there a closet on that wall in the bedroom? I can't remember if there was a closet or if that
it was like a
wall.
shelf thing. Yeah.
I remember at one point we were just hugging. Like it was just like, let's just get comfortable of our bodies being next to each other. So I remember just like standing there, like holding him like, okay, so this is nice. And, but otherwise like he made it super comfortable. And like everyone on the cast and crew was very like kind and sweet. And, I do remember one point though, when I was down on my knees and we had a camera from behind and the only thing I was thinking of was like, I really hope they're not like shooting right up the barrel.
Oh my God.
I hope not. But otherwise, like I remember we talked about, you know, our goals, HBO Max.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, let's go for it. Like, let's just commit, and ended up having a great time filming that scene. But I remember just based off of like what I was wearing and, you know, making it believable that we didn't just meet. So
yeah. And I think, I think we did it pretty tastefully. Like we wanted to give that like Sex in the City vibe, but like didn't want to push it too far because we want most audience to see it. But obviously like HBO is kind of the goal. So they, I think, would push it even further.
Even with heated rivalry, like they're like clapping.
Exactly.
So we didn't go that far, but
no. But Max still even had his clothes.
Oh, he had everything still on.
Yeah.
So it was tasteful for sure.
What are some of your like favorite memories of the shoot?
I mean, honestly, it was just like being there with everybody. Like I remember, I would say the most complicated scene, at least in my brain, was when we were doing the birthday scene, which was day 2.
Okay, yeah.
And
so the main question of the pilot episode is, can gay men have monogamous relationships? So what is your personal take on that?
I think we can, but it is a choice.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of gay men would rather stay open so that they can have the freedom to explore and to have experiences with others. And sometimes it's with their partner and other times it's like separate. But I genuinely think that we can. It really is just making that choice to commit to one person. So I guess you just have to be on the same page with that person, though, that that we're going to be monogamous and choose someone.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's obviously possible. Like it's definitely like something people can do, you know, not just like gay men, just like any relationship. But I think it's really hard. You have to be on the same page. I think that's like something that you're going to want to have. And obviously when I wrote this script, like it was something like I was kind of struggling with and something that I wanted. And like my personal relationships, like I did want monogamy and was kind of struggling with that because of like, is it possible? Is that what I really want? Can I find someone that also wants that? But like, as I kind of like, I wrote the full pilot, like now I guess it's almost like 3 years ago, like the first draft of it, let's say. So I feel like my kind of, I look has changed. Like, I don't even know if that's something I want or even like want, like at least now, like I kind of like being able to like, date people and like see what I like and to really settle down and like decide, okay, we're going to be monogamous. Like that person has to be like really special and like something like, I really want. So I don't know. I feel like right now in my life, I don't know. So maybe like Chris as, end of season 1 or, season 2, he's like kind of has a whole different point of view.
Right. And I feel like, again, I think it depends on who you meet. Like, I think there are certain times where you'll meet someone and you'll be like, actually, we both like the idea of being open so we can explore and like, we're both on the same page with that. And that's great. And then other times you'll meet someone and you're like, they want monogamy and I want monogamy. So like, let's do that and let's try that. And I don't know. I kind of agree with you, though, in the sense that I've been single for so long that the idea of committing to one person for the rest of my life is like, that sounds a little jarring. But also, if I really met the love of my life, like maybe that's what I would want. Yeah. So I think for Chris, like I think there will be a little bit of that. And I think that will be fun to explore. Because you ever saw Schitt's Creek?
I've seen like episodes, yes.
Okay, so even like with David and Patrick, like there was a guy that came into the store and gave like his phone number to Patrick's or the character, and they like played with that idea of like, do we want to be monogamous or do we want to be open? And
no, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, you wrote down this question, so it says, "Are you a size queen?" Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Like, I think I just had this conversation with a friend and I asked her, I was like, have you ever had an experience that when you were about to do the dirty and you stopped because of the size?
Oh my God.
And she said yes. Yeah. And I have to say that has happened to me as well.
Like it was too small?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I think there is a little bit of that for me. Okay. Like it doesn't need to be like, crazy, but I think there is a little bit of like, I think there is a thing, at least for me, that it can be too small. For sure. What about you?
Yeah, definitely can be too small. Yeah. I would have to say that I like a size. Yeah. And there's times where like I like different sizes, but like, I tend to like more of like on the bigger side, but like sometimes people that aren't, maybe like average, like if they know what they're doing, like surprisingly, like it could be as good, if not better than someone with like a larger. Right. So it's, it just also depends on the person. 100%. But yeah, I think
someone that knows what they're doing and how they're working with what they got, it can really be great. Exactly. It really can be. And sometimes people with bigger doesn't necessarily mean it's better because they don't. I mean, I don't want a jackrabbit. Exactly. Like it's like, I am a human being and I want to be loved and not feel like I'm just like being used. So, but that also can be fun too. So I don't know.
Do you think Chris is a size queen?
I think he is a little bit. Like a little bit. Like I don't think it's kind of like me. It's like I don't think it's like it doesn't need to be like massive, but I think there is a little bit of like there's got to be something there.
Yeah. And I think Chris, obviously, like, we see him hooking up on Grindr. Yeah. Like his friends are all joking around about like size queen being the name of the podcast. So I think that I think he probably is. Yeah. Out of the friend group, who do you think is the least likely to be a size queen?
Probably Justin's character.
Paul.
Mm-hmm. That would be my guess.
Yeah, he's definitely like relationship oriented. Yeah. He's a talent agent.
Yeah.
I have in the pilot episode, you get to learn more about him, but he's recently single. He just got out of a long-term relationship. So yeah, I think that would make sense. Like it's not his number one priority in a relationship. He'd rather be with someone that he loves and cares about.
Yeah. And I remember when we were about to shoot the birthday scene where the four of the friends are finally together, I think you had said at one point, you were like, it's possible that that someone in the friend group has been with Chris. And I think in my brain, I was like, I think it would have been Paul, but I don't know. We never really talked about that. But in my brain, I was like, maybe it was Paul.
He's close. I would say Chris is closest to Paul. Yeah. They're the best friends out of the four.
I mean, he was the one that I called.
Exactly.
Or he called me, but he obviously they're still friends moving forward and they're not together at that point. But I think that is someone that will be in his life.
Yes.
No matter what that relationship looks like. It's just he'll always be there.
Yeah. And that's one thing. So, obviously, Size Queen, the short film, it's just a proof of concept of the show. In the full pilot episode, you get to learn a lot more about the three other friends and kind of a little bit more about their backstories and their relationships and stuff. Obviously, we only had limited time, so we're really just focusing on Chris and setting up this world. But yeah, you'll get to see more of the dynamic between Paul and Chris, and also there's more of a struggle to start the podcast. In the short film, it's kind of okay, the video becomes viral, the podcast gets started, but in the full pilot, there's a little bit more hesitation and, you rely on Paul a little bit more to try to help you, or help Chris, get this podcast off the ground. You meet Evelyn Pierce before, the podcast producer. So there's a lot more layers to the friendships, and then also how Chris kind of evolves even in the pilot.
Yeah. That's one thing I would love to see more is the other friends and how they intertwine in the story. And
yes,
I think because they come from different perspectives too, I think they'll bring more to the story and will just make it more full and dynamic.
Exactly. Yeah. And I guess speaking of, what's a topic you would like to see Size Queen explore?
Okay, so I would love to know if you've had these conversations with your straight friends, but I think in straight relationships, most of the time, everyone knows their role. The man is the dominant, the female is the more submissive, and that's typically the norm. With gay relationships, there is more variables at play in the sense that someone could be a top, they could be a bottom, they could be verse, they can be a side where they don't want any penetration. Yeah. And as far as finding a person that you're compatible with, I think there's more to it than just if you guys get along and whatnot, because if you guys are the same role, then it's not going to work. There's always that I always see that comment of two bottoms, they can't, it doesn't work. There's nothing happening or nothing can happen. And so I think exploring and talking about that and making it more normal, but understandable for everyone else to get, I think that would be kind of important, or something that I think it'd be interesting to explore and talk about.
No, I agree.
Cause even looking at the friends and what their preferences are, I feel you would see differences between them.
Yes.
So I think we would be able to explore that with the characters in the friend group, but then also who they're meeting up with and talking to. So what about you?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great thing to explore. I feel because there's so many different dynamics in gay relationships, especially when it comes to your sexual position. So, obviously I've met couples that, they're both tops or they're both bottoms, and then they have to, use toys or invite a third or or they're open or whatever. But then I've also ran into situations too where, I've had friends or people that I've liked, and maybe we develop kind of feelings for each other, but if they're the same position as me, it's just kind of well, this can't go anywhere, even though everything else seems great. We get along really well and we have fun and but yeah, that's just a huge factor. So yeah, I have firsthand experience with that. So yeah, that would definitely be something fun to explore.
Well, and I feel like that for at least for me, like the difference between a friendship and a relationship is the sexual part, because like you would hope that you can talk to, I mean, the whole like talking to someone and feeling like you can trust them and that they're honest and that they're kind and that they make you laugh, like that is all going to be the same no matter if they're a friend or in a relationship. Yes. But the only difference that you're not doing, well, I mean, I guess in the gay community there is more sleeping around with your friends, but like I think like if we were looking at the romantic side of things, like that would be the difference in like having chemistry in that sense. And if that's missing, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I think that would be important to explore. And obviously I think you would see that organically just because that's part of the show. So
yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe like Chris has one of those relationships one day in one of the seasons, or what, maybe it's a friend turn relationship turn, like, you know.
Well, and I know, like, so obviously when we filmed it, like I was the bottom in that scene, but I always was curious, like, did we see Chris as like strictly a bottom, or does he have a moment of like, okay, well, I want a top?
Yeah, I think like I wrote Chris as mostly a bottom, but like I think eventually, you know, as we see him get more different relationships and experience different things, like maybe he'll have like a weekend away at Fire Island or something crazy, and he just like wants to like top everyone or something.
I've never been to Fire Island, but I don't know. I think that would be something to explore, and just even if he doesn't go through with it, I think it's just something that he would maybe think about or discuss on the podcast of like, I've been so comfortable doing one thing, but now this other guy has come into my life, and is this something I want to try, or like, and does he go through it or not? So
yeah. Well, now we're gonna move on to the LA hustle. Ooh. So what's a typical day look like in your life?
I feel like I don't have a consistent schedule at all. Like every single day is different. Like,
okay, it makes it fun.
It makes it fun, but it's a little chaotic in the sense that, you know, when you try to make plans with friends or whatever, it's like you can't sit there and be like, oh yeah, like because I work 9 to 5, I'm always going to be home by 6, and like we can hang out after that. It's like it really depends on what week, what day. Do I have am I working an event? Am I filming? Am I, already have plans? Like there's just no consistency at all. And I think that can sometimes be hard to stay in touch with friends, because like there's no way of knowing like when I'm going to see you next. Obviously if we live closer together, it's more likely, but I mean, there's some people that there's this one girl that like lived across the street from me, and like we'd go months.
Oh my God.
Seeing each other.
Oh my God.
Like it's not even like bad blood. It's just the fact that like we have different schedules and like we work at different places. Yes. We talk to different people, and she's not in the industry. So like it's just different lives. But there's no consistency at all, which makes it fun, but also tiring at times. But I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
question mark.
Like, I mean, I think it makes it like fun, and I feel like there's just so many people here in LA that are striving for all different types of things in the entertainment industry, and you have to have like different kinds of jobs to support that, because you have to do auditions at random times, whether they're in person or they're self tapes, or taking classes or at night or during the day, or so it's like your schedule is always going to be like all over. I mean, and even like when we are full-time in the industry, as we know, like shoots happen all times of the week, all days, overnights, stuff like that. So it's like that's just kind of like the career we are signing up for. Right. But at least you're like kind of living it now, like where it's just all over.
Well, and I think like you said, like LA is it's a beautiful space in the sense that so much happens here. Like there's so many different type of events that are happening all the time. And, when you go to a concert, there's more likely than not, there will be like a special appearance, or, the fact that there's that man living in the billboard for that marketing is very important. Yes. But yeah, like LA is just, there's always something going on.
That is true.
Like it's never dead
No.
in the sense.
No,
I mean, the nightlife is a little dead, but otherwise, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like LA's like, I mean, obviously Size Queen takes place in LA. That was like very important for me to do.
Especially with like the new tax incentive to like film in LA.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I think that would be so fun to be able to film here. And it is such a major part of Size Queens.
Yeah, like in my pitch deck, I have LA as a character, because LA is a character between like, being able to go to the beach, and we have the desert, and we could go snowboarding all within the same day. We have beautiful restaurants, obviously, like, we're the town of all the famous stars. Yeah, and it's just, hiking, and there's just so much to do here and so many events. So like I wanted to like bring that. And I also want to bring more of like the grittiness, because I feel like a lot of shows when they film in LA, they make it look, especially reality shows, make it look so glamorous. And like, while there is very glamorous parts, like a lot of LA is not that glamorous.
No.
And I want to show that. Like I want to show the real Hollywood, like the real LA.
I still remember my first day like moving to LA, and like, the school that I went to was just off of Hollywood Boulevard, like a street or two, like one street up. And I remember like, in the movies, it's
gorgeous.
What they're showing is Beverly Hills or maybe like Westwood area, maybe. But like when you come to Hollywood, like, I mean, it's grimy and it's not what you see in movies.
No,
and
absolutely not.
That was a little bit of a culture shock for me.
Me too.
And I remember specifically there was like a 7-Eleven like down the street from my school. And I was walking there with another colleague, and this homeless person like ran up to me, grabbed me by the shoulders,
oh my God,
and was like, "I need your money." And I was like, "I don't have any." And I literally just like ran into the 7-Eleven, and I was like,
"Oh my God,
I can't ever tell my mom that just happened, or she'd tell me to come home."
Yeah, literally.
And she was still in the state, like, because she was staying at a hotel and like was leaving the next day. But I just like vividly remember, like, if I tell her this, she's gonna tell me to get on the flight. We're going home. So I obviously didn't tell her. And if she watches this, she'll know now. But
well, good thing you didn't tell her.
Yeah.
No, that's like, so yeah, I want to show that because it's just not what you expect.
Yeah.
Like, so for you, like, as you're like getting older in the industry and it's constantly changing, like, what has that been like? And, has there been like more queer roles for actors, or are they still really stereotypical from what you see? Do you have a lot of queer actor friends?
Okay, so as far as like getting older, I feel like, okay, so like technology and like influencers like have completely changed, like social media has completely changed the industry so much that it's, in ways it feels like I don't know if anyone really knows where it's going. Like I think we're all kind of like, I hate to make this a like analogy, but like with COVID, when it happened, like everyone was like, what do we do? And I think like sometimes with the industry, like as much as we want to say that we know exactly what's going to happen, it's like the whole like vertical world, like that tried to happen during COVID with Quibi. Like they were doing fully produced TV shows in a vertical format, and that flopped. And then now fast forward like a year or two later, it's a like $1 billion industry, and now that's where the industry's going. So it's just like, it's all about timing and like trying to follow the trends, but also like trying to make your own trend, and making your own content is such a huge thing. The amount of times that I've been told, like, make your own content, do your own thing, and you hear it, but it's just like, I don't know, like, I'll try it, like, whatever. And it really is creating your own opportunities. And I think that's so important, and just knowing that it's ever changing. And I think that can be really fun, but it also can be frustrating too, because you're just trying to figure out like what's the right thing. And the glove doesn't fit for everybody. Like no one that you're going to talk to will have the same story as far as like how they got in or how they got successful. It's never the same for anybody. So there's no way of knowing like what's the right move. It's like really just following your heart and your gut. And yeah, like it's been a really fun and interesting time. And, you know, I can't wait to see where we go and continue to thrive in this industry. But 100% there have been times that I've been frustrated and be like, I'm done. And then you get an audition, you're like, okay, never mind. So
yeah, no, it's super hard. Like when I was acting, they were always like, yeah, it's like write your own stuff or like create your own opportunities. So that sentiment definitely has not changed. If more so now we have to really do that because like, yeah, like with social media and everything being so at our fingertips, it's like so many people are like, you know, breaking in or creating their own trends because of like just posting things and whatever. And yeah, the vertical landscape is like, yeah, even new for me, but I think I mentioned to you, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take side screen, which is obviously films like horizontally like normally, but have an editor cut it to be vertical, and then also release episode, like, you know, cut it down to maybe 1 to 2 minute episodes and then release it that way, since if that's going to get more people to watch it, you know, just on their phone, and it's easier to watch on their phone like that. So that's something that we'll probably be releasing like in tandem with like our podcast episodes.
I was gonna say, I remember you mentioned it, and with the way that the industry's moving, like I think it's so smart. Like I went to this SAG meeting, I think it's probably been like 2 months at this point. 3 different casting directors were talking from different levels of their careers. And one of them was explaining that, you know, a horizontal like network show, a good premiere day or drop or whatever is like 5 million views. The verticals are seeing about 70 million.
That's crazy.
And I don't know where they're getting these views. Like I've heard Middle America, but it's like, I don't know people that live in that area. So it's like, I can't really relate or understand. It's such a booming industry that it makes sense as to why all these companies are moving in that direction, because if that's where the views and the audience is, like that's where they're going to cater to and put their money towards.
Exactly.
So, and I recently just shot one. So it's like, I'm kind of just, you know, and that's not something that I was like super... It's like, I'm always grateful for the experiences, but that's not the first thing that I was like, I want to do a vertical. Like, it's not what I thought I was going to be doing, but I found it's not like a drama box, like vampire sleeping with the CEO story. It's nothing like that, but it's, you know, this independent company. And I don't know, it was like such a fun script that I was like, okay, I'll do it. And it was such a good time, but it really is so different. And sorry, I wanted to go back to what you had mentioned about like LGBT characters. I feel like we are still in a world where we are seeing gay characters or people in the closet having like identity issues or like trying to come out. And as a queer person, I'm tired of that storyline.
Yeah, so tired of it.
And I've been a part of a couple of different like concepts where like the character I'm playing is out and proud, and I am so grateful for those experiences, because I would love to be the face of, or, you know, to be a character that is proud of it. And I think that's what was so important about this script, is that you have 4 characters that are loud and proud and come from different backgrounds, and they're friends, but like you get to just see them be like normal people.
Exactly.
And see like what that, like, you know, we are very similar and want the same things as straight people.
Yes.
It just, we happen to love the same sex versus the opposite sex. And I would love to see more of that. And, you know, as we just recently witnessed, it's like, I think we're still in a period where the stories that get the most recognition are like these heart-wrenching stories that, you know, someone's having a hard time coming out.
Exactly.
And I would love to get over that hurdle and give people, not make that the whole storyline for this character. So
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that you've been cast in a few that they're out and proud, but like it's just as I've been going to so many film festivals and seeing so many films, like so many of the films that get selected are still a coming out story or just like, a family dynamic where the parents don't accept you or religion, which all this stuff is really important. I'm going to explore inside Screen with the different characters because not all of them have perfect backgrounds. None of them do, and they all have family dynamics and religion and all this stuff. But like, that's not the forefront of the show. Like those things will come up so people can relate and see what they've struggled through to get to where they are and choosing to be out and proud. But like, the films that we see, I think even streaming shows now, they're still like either in the shadows or coming out, like Heated Rivalry, which I think is great. I'm so grateful for, and hopefully we can build on that audience. But it's at the end of the day, it's a coming out story.
And you have I don't know if it's been officially said, but like one of those actors for sure is not gay.
Yeah.
And so I think like, again, like we're trying to show representation and really show true stories, and I think like I'm ready for that.
I'm ready for that too.
So I mean, maybe that's a little bit selfish because I'm in it, but like
no,
like that's what I want.
No, I mean it's been,
or at least that's what I want to see. Like even if I'm not in it, it's like I want to see those type of stories on television that I can say that I can relate to that.
Yes.
So
like I just remember, it was like 10 years ago and I was starting to like act again and submit for self-tapes, and like 90% of those auditions, even like sometimes in my acting classes, like they were just like if I was playing an out and loud proud gay person, it was like so stereotypical, like, doing the hand thing and like being over the top and extra or whatever, or really sassy, which like, don't get me wrong, it's fun to play here and there, but like, that's just, we don't need middle America folks being like, oh, this is just how gay people are, like stay in the closet, son, and, go play basketball. Like, no. Okay, let's do some rapid fire questions for both of us. So like I'll have you answer first and I'll answer after. So like, what was it like moving to Los Angeles? Like
exciting, scary, endless possibilities. Yeah. I mean, like there was just so many different things, freedom in a sense. Cause like I came out of the closet shortly after I moved here.
Okay.
Cause there was a sense of like, I'm finally in Los Angeles, and I was going to a performing arts school. And I think, when I first started attending there, it was very like, okay, like I'm just gonna, I'm in school and like, just trying to like not stick out. And what I realized is that to be an actor, you have to know who you are.
100%. Yeah.
And especially with a lot of the people that I was surrounding myself with, they're like, we don't care. We just want you to be happy.
Aww.
And that was when I finally realized that I needed to be able to figure out who am I instead of like pretending and acting to be someone else.
Exactly.
And so that was, in a way, like it was, my time here in LA has been not the easiest, but it has given me the opportunity to just figure some stuff out for sure.
The next question I'll answer first, but like have your friendships changed like as you gotten older or through LA? And like I think so. Like I think when I first moved to LA, I definitely wanted like a gay group of friends. I wanted to be able to like go out to West Hollywood or go out to wherever and have your gay clique and whatever. And that was really important to me. And then I did have that for a while with different groups, and like we had fun, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a lot of people are either putting up a front or don't know who they are, or, come from all different places and they're just trying to be something. So it's like, I thought I had really genuine close friendships, and like, I guess they were, but they weren't at the same time. Like these people were like, if a better party came along or a better opportunity, like they would be there instead of like the plans that we all agreed on to do, last week, let's say. So I think now I have much more closer friendships with people, and like I still will have like more of acquaintances, but I don't consider like people I go out with just all the time like super close friends. Like they're just like, I feel like as I get older, I'm better at putting boxes or like understanding like this person's good for that, this person's good for that. Like I don't need to consider them like my BFF, like they're not gonna like, if I get a flat tire, are they gonna come help me? Probably not.
Yeah, that's terrible, because you would hope that they would help you out or like be there for you like when you're going through a tough time. But yeah, I 100% agree in the sense that LA is a very how can you help me? How can you make my career better? Or how can you elevate me? And it's not always the best feeling because you don't really know sometimes where you stand with people. I think there's some people that they have their core group of friends and like they hang out with them all the time and that is their group. Yeah. I have always been like a floater. And I feel like I've always like had different groups of people and kind of like bounced around and I've enjoyed that. But talking to some people about that, they're like, well, I don't really know like where I fit in that line of people. Like, am I the first person that you would call? And I don't know. Like it's I guess my group of friends have consistently changed and a lot of my friends come from like work. And so if I no longer work at that job, you know, it's not bad blood, but at the end of the day, it's like I've moved on to something else and now I'm like closer to those people because they're in my environment. But as far as like a gay group of friends, I've never really had that.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I've had gay friends, but as far as like a gay group of friends, not really. And I think what was kind of exciting about shooting Size Queen was, you know, this possibility and, you know, when this thing gets picked up and we get to do it, I'll get to have that.
Oh, like, well, at least in the show.
Yeah, for the show. But at the end of the day, it's like you probably will hang out with those people off camera and like you'll want to get to know them. And, you know, I've always said from day one, like, I want to work with my friends. Like, I want to be on set with these people and I feel comfortable and we have a great time. And I think genuinely, like, it would allow us to spend more time with each other and get, you know. Yeah. So I mean, that's what I hope. That I'll get to have my first gay group of friends.
Oh, yay. Well, you will. And, yeah, like so, but I think that's great. Being a floater is great. Having different groups is great, and and then you'll see Chris in Sky's Queen. He's also has he's very close with his Tyra from work, and you'll see like as the season progresses, like obviously Chris leaves his corporate job, but him and Tyra will still be friends.
I was gonna say Tyra has to come with me.
Yeah, Tyra's like, there.
First of all, love Melanie, shout out. But she has to come with me.
Yes. Like Tyra's going to be around.
Come work on the podcast with me. And like, obviously just as a friend, like I would love for her to be there and like talk about things. And, you know, gay guys always have like a girlfriend or like, you know, a girl that they're very close to. And so I think that character would be very important to the story.
Yeah. And Chris also has another very close girlfriend is actually based off of my best friend Marwa from college. So like her whole scenes were cut, like they're in the full pilot episode, but basically like, so they've had friendships since college, like, so even way before Chris has met Tyra. And then like, she's actually got engaged and she's going to get married through season 1. But you'll get to see like him and her, and like Chris will talk about kind of like his most recent ex-boyfriend and like situations like that with her, like someone that has been there and seen him through that stuff. So that's another like female friendship character that he has.
That.
Yeah. What is dating like for you now?
Non-existent.
Oh no.
I think there's a couple things here at play. So first of all, like because my schedule is so inconsistent, it's hard to plan. And I understand the whole thing of like, if you really want something to happen, you'll find time. Like, it's hard to make time for someone that you don't know. Like, I would rather spend time with a friend, someone that like I feel comfortable with already, than like going on a Hinge date that I've never met and like don't know what's going to happen. And like, I think that it can be exciting, but other times when you're just like burnt out and you're tired and you like, you're trying to make rent and you're trying to make sure that you have food on the table, it's like, I just like need to sit down and watch a show. Like, I don't really,
like Size Queen.
But like because I'm so comfortable like being single, I think getting myself out there has not been a priority, to be honest. So, but I mean, you know, kind of like Chris, there is a little bit of me that wants to have someone. So I think, you know, it's like allowing myself to open up to people too and not being so guarded and, you know, always doing the norm of, you know, watching a movie with a friend. It's like, yeah, maybe go on that date.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Well, yeah, I think it's important to make time for it.
are you seeing anybody?
No. I mean, so for so long I was like so busy. So like dating for me was like almost near impossible between work and like making size queen and all that stuff. My work situation the past few months has been different. So I actually have had the time and like weirdly like been meeting a lot of people. So yeah, I just like had them. I was more open to it. So it's like, yeah, like, it's still time. It's still effort. I have more of the free time. So I was like, okay, I'm down.
Yeah.
So actually I have been going on like a lot of dates, more so like this past like 3 months, let's say, than I feel like the past 3 years, know? But yeah, so it's been fun, it's like, it is hard because like, you do have to carve out that time instead of me just sitting here watching TV and relaxing, going on that date or whatever. And, have to just like talk about yourself and like talk about them and
what's your favorite food? And like,
exactly.
What do you like to do? And
exactly.
It's like I don't know. It's the same questions over and over again, but you're obviously getting different answers from different people. But.
Yeah. And it's good to see like who you like, what you like. And I think for me, it's like with the first time, I'm just like, so me, like, I think it's so easy for everyone to like put on a little bit of a front when you go on a date, because you want to like come across as someone they want to date, Right, so like you almost like, I especially would flex my answers maybe to like, go with what I felt was like the right answer instead of maybe like what I genuinely felt, but now I'm just like more so genuinely me, it's like, I'm even very open right now when I'm on these dates, like, yeah, like, I don't know how, like, I don't talk about monogamy, but I'm like, well, I'm dating around, like, I'm busy, I'm doing size queen, I'm doing this, and like, I'd like to hang out with you, but I don't know, I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a long-term committed relationship, like to happen ASAP, and
like,
no.
But I am curious, what type of guy do you want?
I want someone like, definitely fun, funny is really important, smart, someone that has like their own dreams and goals and aspirations. Like I want someone like, it's like, if I'm working my full-time job and I'm doing size queen and promoting all this stuff, like the amount of time, as we're saying, to actually date and spend is limited. So it's like, I want to make sure that person also has their things that they're focusing on. So it's, I don't feel pressured to like,
they have their own thing going on for themselves. And if anything, it's like, they're an addition to my life. And same thing, like I want to be addition, but I don't want to be your entire life.
Exactly. So like, so a red flag to me actually is if someone like comes and like they're, satisfied with their career and all that stuff, like that's great, but actually doesn't work for me, because like that just means you're looking for someone to just sit on the couch and watch TV with like every night, or cook dinner, or like do those things, which for a lot of people would be lovely, but for me that's not what I want, because at night I'm, going to screenings, or I'm going to network, or I'm doing things. So it's like, that's just not going to work.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's always, life is balanced, right? Like everyone needs to have like those chill nights.
Of course. Oh my God. I love my chill night.
Like cuddling in bed, like cooking a dinner, like whatever. But there has to be a little bit, or at least it sounds like for the both of us, it seems like there's very much of like, but I also want to be outgoing and go do things with either friends, or like we're, going to an amusement park, or we're going on a hike, or we're going on vacation.
Exactly.
I want to go on a vacation so bad. But yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
So what has it been like for you having a short film get into some festivals and like hearing the feedback from friends and family? And we're also in the Holly Shorts audience-based competition, which we've been promoting so much online to vote and stuff. And that ends at the end of this month, August.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's so awesome. Like it's been such a great experience to be able to, see yourself on a bigger screen, like especially the Burbank one, like going to the AMC at Burbank 16, like the amount of times that I've been at that theater watching other movies is crazy. And like to be able to say that my face was up on Theater 4, like it was like, it's so like, it was hard to like wrap my head around, like when I first heard, because I remember when we got in, it was like, oh, like that's great. And then when you had told me it was at AMC, I was like, wait, that's something completely different. Like that felt so special and like a milestone in a way. Like, you know, and that's the thing that's been so great about Size Queen is that I feel like I've had a couple of milestones with in the sense that it was my first lead. It was, you know, the first time that it's been in festivals. This is the first time that I've been like on a big screen at like such an like a iconic theater, and I don't want it to stop. Like,
it's not going to.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's been so fun, especially doing this with you. And all I can say, the funny thing though, I will say, or that I've noticed it, because we were also in Match Cut, remember?
Yeah. So sorry, I left out. We've also done a lot of queer film showcases. So we had one in Houston, Texas. We had one in Chicago, which I went to. We had Match Cut, which was here in LA. We were in the Great Film Club, which was here in LA. So yes, we've been showing it around. We had a Gym Bar screening in West Hollywood. We had another screening at Maddie's in West Hollywood. So we've been also, regardless outside of the traditional film circuit, we've been pushing the film anywhere we can. The response has been amazing.
It's been so good. Like every person that I've talked to has enjoyed it. They love that. Most of the time I've noticed we've been the comedic relief.
Yes, we are.
At these showcases. Because like kind of touching back on what we were talking about before is that a lot of the stories are still very much about like this coming out heart-wrenching story, and they're great stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, like it's great storytelling. But I've also have noticed too that there's always been some sort of like music video type of movie that's been a part of every single one of them.
Like experimental.
Like an experimental thing, which is so like interesting and cool. I genuinely feel like a lot of people have enjoyed it. A lot of it has been like the production value. So that's kudos on you. And, you know, again, like going back to the fact that this is like your first film and like you really came swinging. Like, I mean, and I say this with like so much love. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect because like, I've been on so many different sets. And, like, even people that have been around, it's like, you know, sometimes you catch them on a bad day or whatever. But like, this was genuinely like such a organized, fun achievements that I've received. And so it's just like, it's been such a great experience. And like, I'm so grateful that I get to do this with you, and we want more.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I mean, I'm so grateful for you for playing Chris. You definitely made Chris come alive. And like, you know, I mentioned before, I didn't go to film school. I didn't know anything I was doing besides being an actor and being on sets. You know, I didn't know all the pre-production work that went into it. And, you know, I didn't have connections from film school. So I interviewed, I hired all of our crew. Obviously all the actors, like I said, were casted. But I think I go off vibes, you know, and like obviously went off resumes and their reels and stuff like that. But then I would interview them usually via like Zoom or something. But just like I think picked up on like how people talk and like what they wanted for the film. And I was able to organize such an amazing team who I think now when people go see the film, they're just like, wow, like the team that was put together for this, like the crew, the cast, everything is just like, you know, we all just made it come alive. So I think people see that. And like as I'm learning and networking and mingling with other filmmakers, a lot of people say like for their first short film or second or even third, like, you know, you submit to these film festivals. And I think a few filmmakers told me, I didn't get into any or just one film festival. So I think it's a testament to like both of our work and the whole team of like Size Queen getting into these festivals. And like we're saying too, if Size Queen was maybe, you know, it's purposely light, fun, dramedy, but like I can't even imagine if it was, you know, more of a coming out story or something deeper. We would be at all the film festivals right now. So
we would have been at some other ones too that we did not mention, but
it's okay.
I think everything happens for a reason.
Yes,
and I think that I genuinely think like ours is supposed to be fun.
100%.
It's not supposed to be something that you not dwell on, but you know what I mean? Like it's not supposed to be sad.
No, it's not.
And I'm sure of course there will be moments that are sad in it.
Of course.
Because of like just real life experiences.
Yeah.
But I through and through. I think like you made the right decision, and this is where we want to go. And like I think if we could be one of the first to like show that, hopefully there's more to come.
So is there anything we didn't touch on that you wanted to share?
I'm just genuinely excited to see where this thing goes.
Yeah.
And like, I know that we hadn't thought that we were going to do HBO, but I could see it on a couple of different platforms because I think that all of them could benefit from a show like this being on it and like pulling a new audience. I know at one point we talked about like Apple, and I think it could do really well on any of the streamers. I think I have a couple of favorites, but I think it would be nice to like explore that. So, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a ton of platforms that hopefully like will see Sides Queen eventually and like have interest, and where I would love to talk. But I just think, obviously so grateful that you have been, were a part of the film. And also like, as we've, been doing this for the past year of like marketing it and getting the word out there and sharing it. So it's like super helpful, and everything just takes time. Like nothing is, there's no such thing as an overnight success. Like nothing happens at a snap of a finger. Like things just take time. And I think it's exciting that we're just putting ourselves out there, and the whole team is putting themselves out there, and we all believe in this show. And just like, and I'm excited to like start this podcast element, and I'm happy that you're here to kick it off with me. And
I'm genuinely just so excited to see where this thing goes. And I'm so glad you started the podcast, because I think it will be a good like element and tool to get more people to like watch and be able to discuss things off the show too, and just like talk about our experiences, and I think it'll be fun.
All right. Well, thanks, Rick. So if you haven't followed yet, please follow at Size Queen World. Like, share, subscribe, send this to friends, and also check out the actual short film and let us know what you think. And plug your handle too.
Rick Shattuck is my handle, so follow me.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.